Michael Carter sits on the pole for his first race this season, this 13th round of competition from the Texas Motor Speedway. It's the AER Trucks Series on Rick James TV. I obviously am Rick James. To the inside of season points leader sits the number 6 Hunt Brothers Pizza Ford F-150, who will lead us to the green for 150 miles of racing in the Lone Star State. Jason Fensler with 3 wins lines up on the inside of row number 2 with the 5-3. Jamie Haynes in the advanced Silverado on the outside of that second row. Tyler Bellinger and Patrick Jenks make up row number 3. Waiting for the green flag to start this 13th round of racing. Carter with control. He puts his foot down and we're racing in Texas. One truck already on its roof, skidding end over end. It's the 18 of Ethan Greek, who goes for a big spill. They don't even make it half a lap, and the caution comes out for the 1-8, who jumps to pits immediately. And Greek goes for a tumble out of the second corner. Tristan Bailey is your race leader at the line. Let's have a look at Ethan Greek. Jorge Rincon also involved in that 2-8. Another look here. Just heavy contact. Looks like the 43 of Sammy Harrell also loses control. Oh, the 1-8 just snaps loose and right in front of Jorge Rincon. Nowhere for the 28 truck to go. And let's have a look from Rincon's point of view. Nothing that could be done at all from Jorge Rincon's point of view. So frankly, a quite terrible start for the 1-8 of Ethan Greek and the 2-8 of Jorge Rincon. So we'll have a reset and we'll get ready to go racing once again. Tristan Bailey, your race leader. Michael Carter in the second position. Elk Grove, California's Jason Fensler, he sits in third. Special Ed in the chat says, let's try this again. Yes, let's try this again. Tristan Bailey now with control of the field. 23 trucks ready to start one more time. Let's see if we can go just a bit longer than two corners this time around. Tristan Bailey on the outside. The 6 of Michael Carter on the inside. Green flag is out.
Green flag, green flag.
Last week's winner, Carrier, Mississippi's Tristan Bailey leads the field out of turn number 4. He's got control of the field so far. Michael Carter behind him. Jason Fensler sitting in that 3rd position. You've got Jamie Haynes sitting in 5th. Charlie Mosley Jr. in the Crimson Tide Chevrolet sitting in that 6th position. In the 7-8, just behind him, Waylon Turner, Patrick Jenks, they're fighting for position as well. Bob Mathis rounds out the top 10. Newcomer making his debut this season in the 5-9, Matt Mingo on the outside of the recently crashed Ethan Greek, who finds himself in 23rd, 2 laps off the pace. Douglas King sitting in 20th. In the Papa John's Chevrolet Silverado, and Jorge Rincon hoping to take it just a bit easier this time around. Fensler goes purple, however, 29.86 seconds, fastest lap of the race so far, and all but 4 drivers running personal bests on that 7th lap of competition. If you just recently tuned in, you only missed 1 yellow on the opening lap. I'm Rick James, you're watching round 13 of the AER Trucks Series from iRacing's Texas Motor Speedway. 150 miles of competition is what we'll be running tonight. So far, Tristan Bailey getting off to a fabulous start in that 2.5. He sits a quarter of a second ahead of Michael Carter. Jason Fensler 6 seconds off the top 2, and for now everybody seems to have settled down just a bit. Tyler Willard in the 7-7 now working behind Sam Taylor in that number 1 truck. Those two head into the 3rd corner. Chris Fathke in the Bang 2.7 machine, riding high out of turn number 4. He's trying to chase down Sammy Harrell. 7 more trucks running personal bests. Jamie Haynes, he's trying to stay his best ahead of Charlie Mosley Jr. in the 8-9. The Crimson Tide fan rides in the 6th position. Let's ride in the cockpit with Charlie. Waylon Turner in the 7-8 Juggernaut Toyota gets to the inside of Mosley, further up ahead on the tail end of the top 5. Jamie Haynes in the advanced machine looking to move further on into the points. Young Neil Lapidus fell off the track recently. He sits ahead of Sammy Harrell. Lapidus running 16th so far. Fathke chasing both of them down. Mosley Jr. just ahead of Bob Mathis in the 2.9 H&M Motorsports Ford. Adam Boughton in 9th and Keith Boss rounding out the top 10 in the Jegs machine. Matt L. says, dang. 42 fan says, hope you wreck so hard you blow up. Not I'll be honest, I didn't even read that message before I put the camera on Keith. Jamie Haynes running in 5th. Jason Fensler just ahead in that 4th position. Tyler Bellinger sitting in 3rd in that double 8. Michael Carter sitting in 2nd right now. His best run of the season so far. The 2.5 of Tristan Bailey has a 0.3 of a second lead coming out of that 4th corner. Patrick Jenks, 0.7 of a second off the top 10. While Tyler Tyone makes his way into the top 14, he sits only a 0.1 of a second behind Sam Taylor, and Dylan Picklesmeyer's just ahead in that PPG machine. Coming into this 13th round, we took a look at the points earlier. Those drivers in green, only Tristan Bailey and Jason Fensler locked into the playoffs so far. 3rd through 12th, not solid yet. And then those 2 drivers sitting 13th and 14th, Sammy Harrell and Tyler Tyone. I'm sorry, Hagen Joyner and Sammy Harrell. They're sitting just a few points off of that top 12. Matt L. in special ed taking a special interest in Keith Bost in that Jegs machine. Bost sitting half a second ahead of Patrick Jenks, while Bob Mathis is up ahead by 0.4 of a second. Mathis staying on the straight and narrow, while the 38 tries to move up on the 42. Patrick Jenks trying to stay faithful and in one line on the bottom end of the racetrack, not looking to cheat up to the high side, but still trying to get the most he can out of the draft of the 42. Bost staying just ahead of the 3.8. Patrick Jenks trying to move to his inside. There he goes, just to the high side again, trying to look elsewhere, maybe seeing what else he can get on the side of that 42, but he keeps it just behind the tailwind and the draft of the Jegs machine. Out of the 4th corner, Keith Bost stays in 10th. Patrick Jenks in the 11th position. Tristan Bailey up ahead in that 2.5, has Michael Carter behind him by less than 0.2 of a second. Drivers trying to be as smooth as possible up on the wheel. It's almost like driving a plate race around here. Carter in that 6 has Tyler Bellinger just behind him. On board with the double 8. Watch the hands. Smooth, not trying to scrub off too much speed in the corners. Bellinger now alongside the 6 of Michael Carter. It is a Chevy Ford top 3, and 2 of the Fords swapping spots into turn number 3. Jason Fensler, the 3-time winner this season. He wants a piece of the podium so far, and the number 5 has come to play. Mathis and Mosley side by side into one. Bob Mathis just getting around the 89. Mosley trying once again to get right to the back end of that 2.9 Ford, and respectfully, Charlie lays off just a bit. Mosley, 1 position ahead of Patrick Jenks, who's gotten around Keith Bost, half a second behind the Pennsylvanian. And a big blink by Bob Mathis in the 2.9. Matt Allen, special ed, just messing around in the chat. Keith Bost in the 11th position, getting a little shaky out of turn number 2, just hanging that tail out. No wall to catch him. Sam Taylor 7/10 behind him. Chris Fathke in the 18th position, now on the inside of Doug King. The 1-6 Papa John's Chevrolet in the 1-7 position. Neil Lapidus trying to get to the inside of Jorge Rincon, who was involved in that turn 1 accident. Let's go on board with the 2-6. Almost some contact into that first corner. Waylon Turner on the outside. The 94 of Adam Boughton just to his inside, looking for a little more down the inside of that 78 into turn number 3. The 9-4 of Adam Boughton. He's in 6th. To turn number 3, Turner now sitting in that 5th position behind the 5-3. Jamie Haynes still on the cusp of the top 3. Michael Carter says he jumps to the pits immediately. What's gone on with the 6 of Michael Carter? Has that been a DNF for the 6 truck? Let's go back and see if we can find out what happened to the 6 of Michael Carter. Was it just a big blink that caused the 6 to lose? Just not sure what happened to Michael Carter at all. Oh, there it is. Goodness. Lost track of that. See if we can find out just what did happen to Carter. Nothing yet. Possibly just a internet connection just went awry for the 6 of Michael Carter. So right now, your top 3 now sits Tristan Bailey, Jason Fensler, Tyler Bellinger rocking that 3rd position. Matt L saying, wonder if his power went out. If it is that case, Matt, it'd be a terrible shame. Carter, our pole sitter tonight, and really giving Tristan Bailey a good run for his money. Wowzer saying what he thinks of Keith Bost in that 42 truck. Bost sitting in 10th just now with the 1 of Sam Taylor, possibly looking to cheat to the inside. Now Taylor sits right behind the 4-2 of Bost. Coming out of that second corner, the Coca-Cola Silverado now just getting alongside that 42. How close will he get? Will he break just that unspoken bond of not giving each other enough room in the corner? Bost trying to take everything he can out of that 4th corner, and the 1 of Sam Taylor staying faithful to that low line through the front straight, side by side into 1. Will they come out clean? And the 1 of Sam Taylor able to keep to himself. Keith Bost in that 42 now running alongside the 1-2 of Dylan Picklesmeyer. Picklesmeyer able to get into the 11th position when the 42 just wasn't looking. Into that 3rd corner now. Bost on the back end of these 2 trucks now trying to play catch up. Is he trying to make up for those positions that he lost, or will he be content sliding on back? Special Ed said it's been raining a bunch, possibly explaining why the 6 of Carter lost some of that power. 1, 12, 42 into turn number 3. You're looking at the battle for 9th. That truck all by is lonesome. The 7-8 of Waylon Turner sitting in the 5th position. Coming into round number 13, Turner is 10th in the points. Not anywhere close to being safe, to making the playoffs, but will he be consistent enough to end up in those final 5 races? Ethan Greek possibly having an incident. The 1-8 truck slow once again. getting a little loose out of turn number 4. Greek still on the straight and narrow. Keith Bost also being a bit loose. He's being a bit out there. The 42 Jegs machine getting a little slippery under the weight of that truck and falling out of the top 10, but he stays close enough to be informed on Dylan Picklesmeyer, our hardest charger of the race so far. Big blink out of the 1-2 PPG F150, but now Bost trying to get all over the back end of that 1-2. The North Carolinian holding on to that 10th position well. And Bost starting to slip just a bit further behind. Tyler Willard within 1.4 seconds to Keith Bost. One of 2 Juggernaut sports trucks in this race tonight. Sam Taylor just ahead of the 1-2 of Dylan Picklesmeyer. This is still the battle for 10th, but Taylor now working on Jenks, the Pennsylvanian, in the 8th position. That 3-8 Tundra making way for the 1. Will he also make way for the 12? And will he be able to shut the door on the 42 of Bost? Bost looking to creep forward up to that 12 car. Picklesmeyer holding steadfast on the bottom of the racetrack. At the front, Tristan Bailey watching his lead disappear just a bit. Jason Fensler has made his way within 7/10 to the Mississippi Pilot. 37 laps underway at Texas. Picklesmeyer on the inside of Jenks. This is the battle for that 9th spot. Patrick Jenks on the high side. Will he be able to hold on tight to the 1-2 of Picklesmeyer? Picklesmeyer staying glued to the back end of the 1 truck. Sammy Harrell up in 8th, and drivers have started to come down pit road, far surpassing what we thought would be the expected pit window. In this 38th lap of competition, Tristan Bailey decides to come down. Jason Fensler right behind him. The left sides go down on the 2-5 and on the 5. Race out of pit road, clearly won by the 2-5 of Bailey. Jason Fensler running just behind him. And the rest of the leaders have decided to come down pit road. Tyler Bellinger, Jamie Haynes, Sammy Harrell, all come down for tires and for fuel. So that's going to put Tristan Bailey back into position to take that lead. There runs the 2-5, currently in the 12th position. The 4-3 of Harrell running as your race leader. He pitted under that first caution on lap number 2, but when will Harrell decide to come down pit road? Now is the answer. Jorge Rincon, now. Will he come down pit road? He will come down pit road. Douglas King is next. The 16 will stay out, so your new race leader will be Doug King in the 1-6, Papa John's Silverado. King blasts by, leading his first lap of the race. Now Doug remains the only driver who has yet to pit. Crimson Dega says, well, my dog decided to Hamlin kid me and turn my monitor off. Not winning truck, but solid and needed that good luck. And good luck to everyone. Wishing his SCR guys go get that win. And here comes Douglas King, and the cycle is now complete. Tristan Bailey, learning of the 1-6 coming down pit road, will take the lead. Young Neil Lapidus getting slideways down pit road. Put on the Tokyo Drift music. He comes to a screeching halt with a little bit of contact to the left front corner of that Crown Royal F-150. And it's going to cost him some time, but that was entertaining nevertheless. The 5 of Jason Fensler within half a second to race leader Tristan Bailey coming into this 13th round of racing. There are 8 wins between them. 75% of the victories this season have either gone to Elk Grove's Jason Fensler or Carrier's Tristan Bailey. Just an absolute dominant performance by either of these drivers. Keith Bost trying to get all he can from Sam Taylor in that number 1. Eric Kuykendall has crashed and the caution is out. Big crash for the 33 who jumps immediately to the pits. Tristan Bailey, your race leader at the moment of caution. Kuykendall in the 33 on the low side of the racetrack. And he just comes to a halt and immediately jumps to the pits. Not sure what happened there to Eric Kuykendall, but, well, that's it for Eric, unfortunately. Tristan Bailey sitting just ahead of Jason Fensler leading this race just before the halfway mark. And the 2-5 decides to come in. And look who's following him. Jamie Haynes, Adam Boughton, Waylon Turner. A bunch of drivers coming down pit road. Everybody coming down. Keith Bost is on his way down to get some tires and fuel. Possibly some refreshments for the hard-working driver of the 42 Jegs Silverado. We'll see what else he decides to get while he comes down to a screeching halt. The number 1 of Sam Taylor comes down before him. Jason Fensler, now your new leader in the number 5. Tyler Bellinger riding behind him. And Pennsylvania's Patrick Jenks rounding out that top 3. Let's see if we can bother Jason Fensler for a word or two. Jason Fensler, Ricky James up top. You got me? Jason Fensler, Rick James, can you hear me? I think your mic might be muted, Jason. Third call for Jason Fensler. And no cigar for the driver from Elk Grove, California. Must be working on some strategy. Let's go back to another race winner this season. Tyler Bellinger in that double 8. Tyler B, Rick James, can you hear me?
Yes, sir. Loud and clear.
You're sitting in that second position right now. California's Jason Fensler has a great command of this race so far, but Tristan Bailey just came down pit road for tires and fuel. Is the rubber that important here at Texas?
I don't think so. I stayed out a lap later than them, so I only have like 2 laps on my tires. So, I mean, that's a lot of track position to give up when we just pit. I like seeing different strategies, though, so we'll see how it pans out. But I had a lap on them, so we'll see.
Still more than half a lap remains in this race. Half a race remains in this race. More than 50 to go. You're sitting 6th in the standings right now. You are not solidly in the playoffs just yet, but it's almost a guarantee. Is there any push to get further up in the points, or are you content just trying to learn a little bit for the upcoming playoffs in 3 weeks?
I've kind of struggled here lately. I kind of flipped the switch mentality-wise last week halfway through Richmond and brought it home third and changed up some settings on my wheel, and I'm driving a little different. So I feel real good about the truck tonight. I was running up P2, and I almost pushed up in the wall. I had to check up and gave a second to Jason. But I definitely feel like I'm a top 3 truck, and every week the rest of the season it's all about winning.
Well, there's only one way to find out. Hopefully you keep the shiny side up and we talk to you at the end. But the most important question of the evening, Tyler Bellinger, what is your favorite soda?
My favorite soda? A good old Barks root beer, man.
You know, I'm not a big root beer guy. I'll drink it, right?
Old school soda, Sioux City ginger beer is the best soda. But that's old school glass bottle at your local hardware store.
Is it just me, or does soda just taste better in the glass bottle? There's something about that glass bottle that makes it impeccable, right?
Absolutely.
Like an ice-cold Coke in the glass bottle? Oh. And if it's made with real cane sugar, get out of town.
Oh, yeah. I got you, buddy. I have to go get one now.
You're telling me, man. You're telling me. Best of luck, Tyler. We'll talk to you at the end, man.
Appreciate it.
If there's any soda companies out there that make soda in a glass bottle, you need a voice for advertising or anything, just hit me up. Wink, wink. Special Ed agrees. Special Ed's in the chat. He says, it tastes cleaner. It does, doesn't it? Super Sam says, have Dirty Bird as a guest commentator. Dirty Bird comes through once in a while and says what's up in the chat. Sammy Harrell in the chat says, oh, shoot. Let's see what happened to Harrell. He sits in the 43 car. He's on the outside in that W Silverado. He's on the outside of Pat Jenks. So Jason Fensler will have control of the field. He's on the inside of New Hampshire's Tyler Bellinger. Patrick Jenks on the inside of Sam Harrell, getting ready to restart with 54 laps to go. Waiting for the pace truck to peel off. Green flag is in the air, waiting to put their foot down to go racing again. Green flag is out. Let's do it. Everybody makes it clean and green. Out of the fourth corner, Keith Bost goes off the racetrack in the 42. Big crash down the front straight. Bost involved. The 18 of Ethan Greek, the 5'9 of Matt Mingo get into a crash into that first corner. And not a good start for the new guy. Matt Mingo in that Liquid Death Toyota will jump immediately into the pits. Keith Bost was involved in that one. Roberto Mathis got a big piece of that one. The North Carolinian all scraped up. Caution comes out for the third time tonight in the Lone Star State. Let's see what happened. Oh, and the wreck's already happened from here. The 7. Look at that. What in the world happened to the 2.9? That's hilarious. Let's see what happened to Matt Mingo. The 2.6 of Neil Lapidus possibly involved. There's the 42 of Keith Bost, who just couldn't stay away. And it looks like it starts when Keith Bost just loses control. He loses his grip. This is the 42. Look at the 94, and there is Keith Bost. Bost does indeed lose his grip, and in an unrelated incident, they wreck going into the first corner. And it looks like Bost just couldn't keep his hands off of that accident there. He gets involved in a sticky situation that could cost him dear. But let's go back and see what happened to the 94 of Adam Boughton. Boughton gets wicked loose out of turn number 4. Everyone's just trying to avoid him. And Adam Boughton does avoid what's going on back here. See what happens. The 77 truck of Tyler Willard came flying in here at an absurd speed, and it may have started with the 2.9 of Bobby Mathis. Oh, he gets loose right in front of Tristan Bailey. The 2.9 tries to save it. Everybody's trying to find their way around the 2.9 of Bob Mathis, and it looks like young Neil Lapidus was the catalyst behind this as Mathis goes sailing into that Texas sky. Have a look. There's the 42 of Keith Bost. He just got slippery and lost it. The 77 checks up, nowhere for Neil Lapidus to go. And that's when it all happens behind them. see if we can get one more look here. Keith Boss just flies off the racetrack in an unrelated incident. There's the 42 just flying down into the pits, and watch all this unfold. There's the 2.9. There's a big wreck there. Now, let's ride along with the 2.5 of Tristan Bailey, because he just avoided being a piece of this. Just behind them all. Heads up play. Watch Jorge Rincon. Just avoids all of this. There's Neil Lapidus, who just gets a piece of that one, and I don't think there was a single driver behind all of this that just missed any of this. Kyle Ben Swan said that truck yonked. Tell me about it. So we're going to reset one more time. We're going to try and get our pieces back together. Draw the lines on the court and see if we can play ball once again. Jason Fensler leads Tyler Bellinger in that second position. Dirty Bird's in the chat. We were just talking about this man. What's going on, DB? Glad to have you here. Tyler Bellinger in second. Samuel Harrell sitting in that third position. Sam up 10 places from where he started this race. Let's see if we can talk to Samuel L. Harrell and see how his race is going. Sammy H., Rick James up top. Can you hear me?
Yes, sir. What's up, brother?
You're sitting up in the top 5, a couple positions ahead of points leader Tristan Bailey. You got some new colors in that 43 tonight. Hopefully something you'll take to victory lane, Sammy. What do you say?
Yeah, we got a good chance tonight. Took it easy. Actually got loose the first lap of the race and knocked the inside wall down, so I didn't use my fast repair, so I run that first gas run out with some damage. Fixed it. We're going to be pretty competitive, I believe, so we'll see what we got.
Tristan Bailey came in under not this caution, but the caution before. Are the tires that important at Texas where every set counts, or are you saving them for the end?
Tires are good, but I had just come out of the pits when that yellow come out, so there was no need for me to pit. But yeah, I mean, 5 laps, 6 laps tires, that's a big difference.
Favorite, or I'm sorry, half a lap to green, Sammy. What's your favorite soda, buddy?
Man, we got to go with the Dew.
Mountain Dew. Any specific flavors, or you like the original?
Yeah, man, original. You got to go with the Dew.
You know, I was just talking to Tyler Bellinger about how soda in a glass bottle is more delicious than anything else. Do they make Mountain Dew in glass bottles?
They do.
Really?
You can find them. You can find them, like, up north.
Oh, well, okay. Well, put that on the shopping list, Mountain Dew glass bottles. Anyway, Sam, shiny side up, buddy. Focus, and hopefully we talk to you at the end.
Yes, sir. Let's do it.
Samuel L. Harrell going back to work. He sits in third while Jason Fensler has control of the field, waiting to go back to green. Flag waves. Let's go racing again from Texas. Out of that second corner, so far, so good. Here comes the 2.5 of Tristan Bailey with some of the most fresh tires out on the racetrack to the inside of Harrell. Will we make it to the line unharmed? 5, 8, 2, 5. Now your top 3 as they cross the line. 47 laps remain in this race. Keith Bost jumps to the pits immediately, and it looks like the 42 has had enough. And it looks like that's it for Bost. We'll see if he decides to finish this one. He's running in the 18th position. Jorge Rincon up 7 places from where he started in 10th. Boughton to his inside in the Mountain Dew Kickstart Tundra. He will take the 10th spot away from the Sacramento native. No, I'm sorry. That's Jorge Rincon's from Agua Dulce. I don't know why I thought he was from Sacktown. No, you know who's from Sacramento? Jose Ruiz, who drove in the Xfinity Series. Getting my drivers mixed up. But Rincon still having a great race so far. Not used to seeing him this high. So shout out to the driver of the 28, Tyler Tyone, sitting in the 12th position. He's 1 spot ahead of Charlie Mosley Jr. in that Crimson Tide Silverado. Douglas King in 14th. Dougie The last car on the lead lap, while Idaho's Chris Fathke is the first truck 1 lap down. So if the yellow comes out, it will be Chris who receives the lucky dog. Towards the front, Fensler, Bailey, Bellinger, your top 3, 5, 2, 5, double 8. About to complete the 56th lap of competition. The points leader hunting down second in the standings. Both drivers comfortably locked into the playoffs. 3 weeks from now is when we start. It goes Texas, Canadian Tire, Bristol Motor Speedway. It's going to be an unbelievable start to these playoffs, but who will participate? Who's going to play with us in those final 5 races of the season? And I apologize, Milwaukee is going to be the next week. So it's this race, Milwaukee next week, and then the regular season finale at Canadian Tire. Tristan Bailey on the inside of Jason Fensler. This for the race lead. Bailey sends it deep into the third corner. He clears the 5 of Fensler. New leader, Tristan Bailey. Fensler looking to the inside, trying to get a little something off the 2-5 truck. On the outside now, just cheating on the top side, looking to get a little bit of fresh air, possibly see what else he can find on his own. The 4-3 of Samuel L. Harrell, sitting just ahead of Jamie Haynes. 2x2, a couple rows deep. Jason Fensler gets a sour entry into the third corner, opens the bottom line for the 5-3 of Jason Fensler, who will just scoot on by, and Jamie Haynes moves into 4th. Further on back, Sammy Taylor in the number 1 truck on the inside of Nagadoches Waylon Turner. This for 7th. On the top side of the 1-2. Picklesmeyer now on that low side, looking to get just a bit closer to Turner. The 1-2 of Dylan Picklesmeyer sitting just ahead in the PPG machine. Sam Taylor in that number 1 Coca-Cola Silverado holds on to the 7th position. Picklesmeyer in the 1-2 right behind him. He sees the 7-8 of Waylon Turner just ahead. Getting a bit close, but will they touch out of 2? Picklesmeyer trying to get just a bit more on top of the back end of Taylor. Sammy Harrell still sitting in that 4th position. Jason Fensler behind him now. Inside the final 40 laps of competition, Harrell in the 43. Sitting just ahead of the 5, Jason Fensler. Picklesmeyer up 12 places from where he started. He's our hardest charger so far. Jorge Rincon on the back end of Dougie King in the 1-6. The Papa John's machine down to the low side. Special Ed cheering 200 bits. Thank you, Ed. Appreciate you, my friend. Glad you're here, buddy. I hope you are enjoying the show, as are the rest of the fans. And if you've recently tuned in, I'm Rick James. You're watching the final 36.5 laps of action from the Texas Motor Speedway. Tristan Bailey out to a 0.3 of a second lead over Tyler Bellinger. Bailey looking for win number 6 in 13 starts this season. We mentioned earlier, both Bailey and Fensler responsible for 75% of the wins headed into this race. 8 wins between them in the first 12. And if Bailey or Fensler can pull it off, it'll be 9 wins in 13 starts between both of those trucks. Picklesmeyer now on the back end of Sam Taylor into the third corner. Adam Boughton all over the back end of that 1-2. Boughton peeking to the inside. Will he lift the 12? He doesn't have to. The 12 goes high. 94 goes low. 35 laps remain. These two fighting hard for that 8th position. Fans of the 42, Keith Bost will be disappointed. Bost has quit this race. He will finish in the 20th position. Matt Mingo in his first start this season, still running, still faithful to the task, and the Liquid Death Toyota Tundra. Can't do any worse than 19th tonight. Doug King still ahead of Jorge Rincon. Tyler Tyone, 0.8 of a second off of these two. Further on up ahead, Pat Jenks in the 38, now on the top side. Sammy Taylor, bottom side. The number 1 Coca-Cola Silverado looks to make it easy. Jenks giving it a hard fight, but Taylor holds on. Sam Taylor marching closer up through the field. He's up 8 places from where he started. Tyler Bellinger now on the top side. Jamie Haynes making headway in the 5-3. Haynes sitting 4th in the points. Winless so far this season. Will tonight be the night? Just over 30 laps remain in the Lone Star State. Haynes on the inside. Bellinger top side. Barreling down again into the third corner. Special Ed saying, will tonight be the night when 2 become 1? We'll have to find out, won't we? Bellinger headed into that first corner, giving up second for the time being. Further on back, Charlie Mosley Jr. glued to the back end of Waylon Turner. Mosley in 10th. Turner in 9th. Here comes the 89. He's got a good run into the third corner, but will he use it? He goes to the left side of the blue, white, and red Juggernaut Toyota. Special Ed cheering for Charlie Mosley. He says, let's go, Charlie. Well, let's see what the fan of the Crimson Tide can come up with. Side by side into turn number 3. Once again, 78 trying to slide right up ahead of Charlie Mosley Jr. Mosley says, don't do that to me, but the 78 of Waylon Turner puts a couple of tires into the grass. He gets ahead of Charlie Mosley in the 89. Inside the final 30 laps of racing, Tristan Bailey continues to lead while these two go hammer and tongs at it. The 89 of Mosley does not leave the inside of the 78 of Waylon Turner. These two inseparable, but who's going to get the better of the divorce between them, or will they stay together? The 89 of Charlie Mosley Jr. just now peeking ahead of the 78 of Waylon Turner, but will Turner find maybe a little bit of revenge on the 89? Headed into 1, still plenty of racing remains, and we'll see where these two end up when the checkered flag flies. Jason Fensler has come into the pits, is the number 5, making his final pit stop of the evening. 3 wins this season. Tyler Bellinger has decided he wants service too, and the New Hampshire native comes down for tires and fuel. That now puts all the eyes on Mississippi's Tristan Bailey. He sits ahead of Jamie Haynes by just a couple of tenths of a second. Meanwhile, Dylan Picklesmeyer, Sam Taylor, and Adam Boughton having a 3-way fight into that third corner. The 1 of Taylor just ahead of the Mountain Dew Haviland machine. Picklesmeyer, top side, trying to see what morsels he can lick up between these two drivers. It'll be Taylor, Boughton, Pickles across the line. Shout out once again to Dylan Picklesmeyer. Again, one of our hardest chargers of this race, up 15 places from where he started. Mama Vols is in the house. Loyal, faithful, and always there for you. Shout out Mama Vols. Glad to have you here, man. Love you. Send my love to the family down there in the great volunteer state. Bailey 2/10 ahead of Jamie Haynes with 25 laps remaining. We've reached the final quarter, and we're glad that you've reached us as well. Thank you so much for being a part of this race. Stick around and watch how this one unfolds. Sam Taylor in the 1. Sits just ahead of Adam Boughton. Picklesmeyer with another blink tonight. Waylon Turner now looking to the inside of Charlie Mosley Jr. And again, these two stuck like glue out of that fourth corner. The 89 ahead of the 78. Here comes Turner looking to find any advantage on Mosley. And Charlie Mosley Jr. just ekes out in that first corner. He's got a great entrance, but the 78 of Waylon Turner just seems to get his own on the back end. Turner to the inside. There goes Waylon Turner on the inside of Mosley Jr., who gives a slow entrance into 3. Is he coming down into the pits? He is not. Has something gone wrong on Mosley Jr.? Very slow. Adam Boughton and Patrick Jenks have decided they're coming down pit road. Now that's Doug King who wants to come up behind Charlie Mosley Jr. There goes Fensler. There goes Harrell. Mosley Jr. has not pitted in 27 laps of competition. There's Fensler making a dive to the inside on the 7-8 of Waylon Turner. Not for position, but Fensler looking to make up the most time he can. This last time by, Fensler crosses the line. 30.17 seconds. Tristan Bailey, last time around, 31.28 seconds. Fensler, compared to the leader, 1.1 seconds faster. How much longer will a 2.5 stay out? Jamie Haynes has decided he's indeed had enough, and the 5.3 is in. That leaves Tristan Bailey at the front. Sam Taylor in the second position. Dylan Picklesmeyer just behind him in third. And now Jorge Rincon in that fifth position has not pitted. Rincon now working on the back end of Douglas King. The Papa John's Silverado has ordered a top 5 finish, and he sits there, but again, that final pit stop looms for the 1.6 Chevrolet. The 2.8 Silverado looking to the top side. Special Ed says, interesting strategies. You're telling me. We'll see just who gets the best hand in this 180-mile-an-hour game of Texas Hold'em. Sam Taylor continues to lead, but he's just been overtaken by Jason Fensler, who put in a 30.3-second lap last time around to Taylor's 31.49. Taylor will stay out once again in the North Carolinian Gambles. He's going to have to make those tires work when he gets back out on the racing surface. But will he have enough time, or is he gambling on that late race caution? Jorge Rincon has decided he's going to come down pit road, and the 2.8 has surrendered for service. Jason Fensler in 5th. Tristan Bailey in 8th. Bailey pitted on lap 80. Fensler pitting on lap 72. 8 laps of difference in wear between the two fastest trucks all night long. Last time around, Bailey crosses the line. That was his out lap of 58.91 seconds. So the clock now runs on the 2.5 of Tristan Bailey, working on the inside of Sam Taylor in the 1. So Bailey now unlapping himself. Taylor possibly gambling on a yellow flag. There's the race leader who continues to stay out while no, he doesn't. He comes in. He's in. Picklesmeyer on the way in. Doug King in the 1.6. Will he stay out and lead? He will. Douglas King will be your new leader at Texas, and he leads the 82nd lap of competition. 17 laps remain. There goes the 77 truck to the inside. That's Tyler Willard. He last pitted on lap 75, and he just put in his personal best, 30.43 seconds. Back in 89, he simply slid in the place. Charlie Mosley, all up in your face with a 30.04 second lap. Shout out to A Tribe Called Quest for those that know. Mosley running his personal best. Doug King, 32.04 seconds. Still leads this race. Jason Fensler, 1.5 seconds quicker. 30.67 is the gap. And over the last 5 laps, there you see King just consistently slower than Fensler, and King possibly gambling on that yellow flag strategy. Tristan Bailey moves up into 4th. He's 0.3 of a second behind Samuel L. Harrell. Harrell pitted on lap 69. Bailey pitted on lap 80. 11 laps of difference with 15 circuits remaining. Tristan Bailey finds himself just 2 seconds behind Jason Fensler. It's going to be a strategy to see who's got the best defense at the end of the race. Coming to 14 laps to go. Douglas King decides he's going to come down pit road. He will give up the lead to Elk Grove's Jason Fensler, looking for his 4th win this season, but a quickly approaching Tristan Bailey wants the lead from him. Lucky number 13 laps to go next time by in this lucky 13th round of competition. Doug King out of pit road with the freshest tires on the racetrack. We'll see what kind of times Dougie can put up on the board. New Hampshire's Tyler Bellinger sits just 0.2 of a second behind Tristan Bailey. Bellinger's tires 7 laps older than the Mississippi pilot. Neil Lapidus and Ethan Greek have decided they're going to use the buddy system down pit road. Can't get lost, fellas. Stick together and come out together as well. Lapidus and Greek side by side. They'll get service with 13 circuits remaining. And Jason Fensler looking back to Tristan Bailey. 2 seconds the difference between them. And over the last 5 of those circuits, you can see Bailey not catching up enough to overtake Fensler, but Bailey does have an extra 8 laps of wear in his pocket that last time by. 0.3 of a second. Bailey, is he now on pace to catch Fensler? We're going to have to do some math this next time around. 1.9 seconds now the gap between them. That's Idaho's Chris Fathke, who sits just behind Fensler. Fathke running in 15th, 2 laps off the pace. Still in the lucky dog position. If the yellow flag were to come out, Fathke would receive that lucky dog award. Last time by, Tristan Bailey, another 2 and change quicker than Jason Fensler. 1.7 seconds the gap between them. At this pace, Bailey will catch Fensler with about 3 to 4 laps remaining, but he has to be consistent. Jamie Haynes chasing down Bailey, who's gotten wicked loose out of 4. 3 wide down the front straight. 10 laps to go and they crash. There's the 5-3. There's the 2-5 wrecking down the front straight. We stay green. Jason Fensler leading. There's the yellow flag. There's the yellow flag now as Jamie Haynes and Tristan Bailey collide, and there's extra at the end of this one. Haynes trying to come down off turn number 1, loses the tailgate. Someone just nailed Jamie Haynes in turn number 1. There's the pace truck. We'll see who else got some damage. But we're going to restart inside the final 10 laps of racing. It started when the 2-5 of Tristan Bailey got loose out of the final turn. Jamie Haynes was coming. He really put the pressure on the 2-5. Let's have a look. Tyler Bellinger in the 8-8 gets into the wall. The 2-5 of Tristan Bailey just gets into the 5-3 of Jamie Haynes. And that's it's quite unlike Bailey. He's a bit sturdier than that. Let's have a look at the hands on the 2.5. Let's try and have another look. Oh, the 2.5 definitely washing up the racetrack. Let's run this back and have another look. But the 2.5 of Tristan Bailey, absolutely. There he goes, losing control of the truck. And watch the hash mark there. The 2.5 absolutely slides up into the 5.3. And there's the catalyst for that accident. Now keep on watching. Someone's going to get into the 5.3 as Haynes tries to get off of turn number 1. And it's the 77 truck once again getting involved in another accident. That's Tyler Willard who got a piece of that crash. See if we can have one more look. Let's see if we can catch a ride with Tyler Willard. Moving at an absurd speed into the 5.3. And Willard undoubtedly catches a piece of Jamie Haynes, who now runs in 12th. So Jason Fensler is on the point. Tyler Bellinger sits in that second position. Samuel L. Harrell will restart in position number 3. Adam Boughton currently 4th. Waylon Turner rounds out your top 5. So the trucks will reset, and we'll get ready for a thrilling restart. Rest assured. We're going to take a 60-second break, and we'll be back for more racing from iRacing's Texas Motor Speedway fans. Don't go anywhere. We're going to restart with 5 laps to go. Tristan Bailey has decided to throw in the towel with plenty of racing remaining, and the points leader will simply give up before this one is over. So we won't get a chance to see the 213simware.com Chevrolet once again. Jason Fensler leading to the inside of Tyler Bellinger. Adam Boughton restarting on the outside of Sam Harrell. Waylon Turner and Dylan Picklesmeyer share row number 3. Charlie Mosley Jr. on the inside of Douglas King. The 5 has control. It'll be 5 laps to go when we restart this race. Jason Fensler looking for win number 4. Will he get the jump on the restart? Waiting for the 5 truck to move. There's the jump. Green flag is out. Four laps remain in Texas. 0.3 of a second between Jason Fensler and Tyler Bellinger. Now rolling into that third corner. Dylan Picklesmeyer looking on the inside of Adam Boughton. Charlie Mosley Jr. running in that 6th position, trying to get a top 5 spot, but he'll have to work harder than that. Further on back, they start to fan out into that third corner. This is where you can smell the spice in the air. There goes the 80 of Tyler Tyone. The Canadian couldn't hang on. He comes back down on the racetrack in front of the 5.9 of Matt Mingo, who's just trying to finish his first race this season. But shout out to Mingo, who has not thrown in the towel. Matt Mingo will finish no worse than Tristan Bailey, who has done otherwise. And look at Sammy Harrell running 29.96 seconds. Harrell puts in his fastest lap of the race, and the South Carolinian goes green. Well, oh, there goes Sam Harrell in the 43, who's just gone into the inside wall. What happened to Sam? What in the world happened there? And Adam Boughton has had an incident now in the 94. What in the world is going on with these trucks? Do we have full moons in iRacing? Someone explain that one to me. Let's first have a look with Matt Mingo in the 5.9, excuse me. Just nowhere he could go. Tyler Tyone driving back down onto the racetrack. What in the world happened here? Let's have a look with Tyone. Look at Patrick Jenks. This is the lap prior. One Pennsylvanian can't control his truck. And then Tyone in the 80 will be on the inside of Doug King. This is the lap prior. We'll see just what happened to the 8.0 truck. Contact with the 1.6 of Douglas King. And Tyone drives right across the racing surface. See if we can get this from a different angle. There is indeed contact. Now watch the hands of Tyone. Look in the left side mirror as Tyone is driving to the left, coming down off the racetrack. Nowhere for poor Matt Mingo to go. And now, under caution, Sam Harrell's about to have an incident. Watch this. We were just talking about how well he was doing, and the 94 of Adam Boughton destroys the 43 of Sam Harrell. What on earth is Adam Boughton thinking? Have a listen and watch the hands inside the 94. And the 94 scraping against the wall. Did the 43 just lose acceleration? Because you don't see the... Watch the tachometer here. You're not going to... He's already moving at quite a good clip here. Let's see what happened to Sam Harrell from Adam Boughton's point of view. Just not sure what happened. Not sure at all. But it's going to lead That won't lead, but that's part of the caution. It's going to lead to a green-white checkered finish. Jason Fensler sits ahead of Tyler Bellinger, Sam Harrell in the third position. Dylan Picklesmeyer up 16 places from where he started. Looking at those points, once again, the drivers in green locked in. Points leader Tristan Bailey giving up on today's race. He'll finish in the 19th position. Jason Fensler leading this race, looking for his 4th victory on the season. Sam Harrell in the 14th position. He is 19 markers off of the top 12. Hagen Joyner not in tonight's race. Patrick Jenks sitting in the 10th position while Harrell runs in 3rd. Could be a very lucrative day for the 43. Elk Grove's Jason Fensler will have control of the field. Tyler Bellinger in 2nd. Jenks will be rounding out the top 10. He's on the outside of Jorge Rincon. Charlie Mosley Jr. sitting on the inside of row number 3. Jamie Haynes to his outside, who was involved in a crash earlier tonight, but has a chance for a top 5 finish. Green-white checkered attempt number 1. 2 races remain in the regular season after this. Milwaukee next week, and then Canadian Tire Motorsports Park to round out the regular season. Jason Fensler going for win number 4. Tyler Bellinger to his outside, looking for his 2nd victory this season. Sammy Harrell in 14th. He's got a win this season. Dylan Picklesmeyer, Jamie Haynes, Charlie Mosley, winless. There's the green flag. 2 laps to go. White flag in the air, this time by Tyler Bellinger. Gets one more shot at the 5 truck out of the 4th corner. Look at this hornet's nest here. White flag is in the air, and there's a crash right there. The 2 and the 5-3 wreck. It was inevitable. The 5 leading the 88. One more chance for Bellinger to make an impact on the 5. Down the back straight, Fensler's in the wall. Fensler hits the wall out of 2. Bellinger to his inside. Will it be a drag race to the line? The 88 takes advantage. One more move from the 5 on the inside, but it will be New Hampshire's Tyler Bellinger, who wins round 13 at Texas. And that last lap started in chaos. What a chaotic race from start to finish, but Tyler Bellinger getting his 2nd victory of the season after Jason Fensler slams his chance for a 4th victory into the turn 2 wall. Waylon Turner gets the bronze medal. It is a Ford Chevy Toyota podium, and it's this man here, Claremont's Tyler Bellinger, who gets the all-important victory, and this may very well just seal him into those playoffs. Great move for Bellinger. He's going to celebrate a very well-earned victory. And while he does that, we're going to take a look at this final lap of competition. Now here's this wreck. You knew this was happening. Let's run this back. What happened to Dylan Picklesmeyer? 2 gets hooked on the 43. The 5-3 goes with him. Nowhere for the 27 of Chris Fathke to go. And you just wonder... just wonder where they might have ended up had there been just a bit more patience. Nowhere for the 5-3 of Jamie Haynes to run. And have a look at Chris Fathke, who almost made it through this. He came home 11th. Just almost survived that one. But that's the way the cookie will crumble. Tyler Bellinger will come out on top under the lights at Texas. And once again, what is probably the most chaotic race of this season. Fans, don't go anywhere. We're going to have podium interviews in just a moment. On the podium now with our top three, starting with the 7-8 in that juggernaut sports. Red, white, and blue, Toyota Tundra, Nagadoches' very own Waylon Turner scoring the bronze medal in his home race. Waylon, did you think that was a possibility when the white flag flew?
Man, when that flag came out, I was just hoping to not get clobbered by the events unfolding ahead of me. But I came in today very excited. I love Texas. It's my all-time favorite track. Homegrown Texan myself, so it feels good to come out here and get a podium on my home track.
In 7 nights, we're going to go to the Milwaukee Mile. You look for another podium there. Waylon, this moves you up to 9th in the points. Your playoff status not yet secure. Will we see another podium in Wisconsin?
I'm gonna be honest. I've never raced the track, so I got a lot of practice time ahead of me. But I'm hopeful that I'll be able to get another podium in the Juggernaut Energy truck. So I'd like to, thank them for letting me be an affiliate, and I'd like to thank my team, JDT Motorsports. I got a great team behind me, and I wouldn't be nowhere without them.
We'll see you in a week. Congratulations on 3rd. Our silver medalist tonight, Elk Grove, California's Jason Fensler, who had the win all sewn up. Jason, but you didn't put the bow on it, and the cat escaped out of turn number 2. What happened?
That's called driver error. I just, Tyler had a good run, so I wanted to get through 1 and 2, and I tried to get through there wide open, and I probably shouldn't have. I probably should have just been conservative and raced it out, but that's on me. So I got to own that one, and congratulations, Tyler, on the win.
Despite that second place finish with Tristan Bailey quitting with more than 5 laps remaining, there's still a chance for the regular season championship to be handed over. It's only a 16-point difference headed into the Milwaukee Mile. What do you say?
We'll race it out for sure. We come in every week trying to do the best we can to get wins, and we'll race it out, and may the best man win.
We'll see you in a week's time. Congratulations on the silver medal. Tonight's gold medalist, however, in the 88 Quality Care Ford F-150, Mr. Tyler Bellinger with his second victory this season. And Tyler, I think this move there proves that you've got to be in it all the way until the end.
Man, this one means a lot. I scored my first win at Talladega earlier in the season, and everybody knows anybody can win there. So this one meant a lot. The truck was fast all night. I tried something a little different on that final restart because prior to that last caution, I had actually got the run back to Jason, and it was going to get really, really feisty between me, him, and Sammy. And that caution came out, and I just thought it was over because the restarts, the leader can jump out so far on that track. It takes 2 laps to reel him in. But I had a really good first lap, and I was backing up 1 and 2 so I could get in the throttle quicker. And like he said, he just felt the pressure and came up. But I want to give him a ton of respect because after he hit the wall there, he could have come down and tried to block, and next thing you know, we could have both been wrecking. So he just held his line, understood he had lost all of his momentum. So I've had nothing but good racing with him all season, so I just want to shout him out for that because a lot of people would have thrown a dirty block there, and he didn't. So really happy tonight. I felt like I flipped a switch last weekend at Richmond with that 3rd place finish, and I just have a different mindset, and we're going to go try to compete for a few more.
You and Adam Boughton are now tied for 3rd in the points, and next week at the Milwaukee Mile, you can equal Jason Fensler's win tally with 3. What do you think about your shots at the 1 mile oval?
They actually changed it to Rockingham instead of Milwaukee. They couldn't find a setup for it. So I don't have a lot of experience there, but as always, I'm going to go in and I'm going to practice and see what I can't figure out. And Jason's a tough one to fight with. He's, as you see, he's got a ton of wins. He's always up there every week. So anytime you're in the same sentence with him, it's a good feeling. So we'll get some practice in and see what we can't do.
Congratulations on the dub, TB. Go celebrate.
Thanks, man.
Well, you just heard it here first from the man himself, race winner Tyler Bellinger, letting us know next week's race, not at the Milwaukee Mile, it will be at the Rockingham Speedway. How do you like that for a regular season semi-final? And what a race this was. Entertainment from start to finish. For the second time this season, Tyler Bellinger gets the W. Fans, don't forget, Thursday night, we're giving away another 164 diecast, and Thursday Night Thunder, the ARCA cars go to the Talladega Super Speedway. That's going to be one for the record books as well. Until that next race, everybody, please stay safe, do take care of each other, and we will